keeping us alive now. So you forget about that one. And you keep them coming in. You're doing well, son.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Charlie, listen to me. You're keeping us alive now. So you forget about that one. And you keep them coming in. You're doing well, son.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Ah.
Oh, that was awesome.
I love that intro, man.
Oh, I love it too. I'm all teary-eyed right now because that song just gets me. You know, I will fight for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on you. You know, and that's exactly what we're doing. Exactly why we're here. And oh goodness.
Yeah. Joel did an awesome job putting that together. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yep. So how was your week?
My week was good. It was good. You know, busy. I'm a lot healthier this week. Yay. So don't have to deal with being sick anymore. I finally passed that on probably to one of my boys. I'm sure it's kind of like a burning door goes in and out. We just keep passing it around.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was really good. You know, not too much really happened this week. It's just been kind of quiet and
yeah. I'm jealous. I wish I could say that on my end, man. My week was far from quiet. You know, if I think I was just getting bit by a little bit of the negative bug, man. You know, like everything that I touched just turned to shit. You know, the wife reaches out to me, hey, how you doing? AC sucks. Oh, awesome. Oh, what's that going to cost? Oh, it's the compressor. Oh, awesome. You know, that's amazing. And then we get this big old storm here, and I go to walk out to get ready to go to work, and there's probably, I don't know, I almost needed a canoe to get to my car. You know, goodness. And I'm like, oh my God, man, what's next? You know, so
when it rains, it pours sometimes, doesn't it? It feels that way at least.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is gonna be a long week because it's only Tuesday.
Mm. You're like, is it Friday yet? Oh, goodness. It's 5 o'clock somewhere though, right?
No. Needless to say, this has not been a beer week. This has definitely been a bourbon week, but I'm going with beer today.
But, you know, and that actually brings me to this weekend. We had our Veterans Freedom Festival here in Westminster, South Carolina, and my band got to perform there. And we had I totally forgot about this. We had 2 massive storms that came through, blew everything all over the place. Half the vendors left early. It was a hot mess. And we got on stage. The band before us, because there was a tent over us. The band before us had so much water log come into the tent that one of the bass players and one of the guitarists had to stand up here like this so the water wouldn't get on any of the equipment and that the band could keep playing. So it was like one drummer and one guitar, one singer that did the show. And these 2 guys are holding this up like this going, Lord, if this drops, this is going to be a fire. So this is going to be a bad situation. So but they made the best of it. They used teamwork and they got it together, and we were able to get the water off the tent. And then we went up in about 30 minutes after, about 30 minutes before the set was over. It just started pouring rain and thundering, and a train decided to come by right at the same time and blow their horn. And the train tracks are right there. So it was like as we're trying to sing, and we're just like, you know what, can this get any more jacked up at this point? But you know what, we're here. We had fun, we did it, and hey, it cooled it off like 40 degrees, so we can't complain too much.
Well, so I'm gonna
positive in it.
Yep. And even though this has been a negative week so far for me, there has been a positive that I'd like to focus on. And so I don't know if I don't think I said it on the show last week, but a guy named Joel, he was a Coast Guard veteran that was on my podcast a while back. He started teaching for creative vets, doing guitar lessons, right? He went through Guitars for Vets, and then he took a little bit of Guitars for Vets to Creative Vet, and out of Phoenix, he's doing guitar lessons, right? So he reached out to me and was like, hey, man, I really want to teach you how to play guitar. I said, hey, I'd love to learn. I said, that'd be really cool. And he's like, you just need a guitar. And I said, well, all right. I said, let me look and see what the costs are. And, let's let Gunroom Radio settle down a little bit where I'm not, fronting so much of the budget for it. And then we'll do it. I said, I'll buy a guitar and we'll do it. So he mails me.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could not believe it.
Are we going to hear you strum a couple chords tonight?
I don't know my first lesson is Saturday. So at least let me get through the first lesson.
Fair enough. I learned the whole, my dog has fleas. That's how you're able to tell if your chords are in tune or not.
I got
My
you.
dad taught me that on the ukulele when I was 10 years old.
The ukulele.
He tried to get me to go to ukulele lessons when I was 10 years old. The flute didn't work out because I didn't enjoy the flute. So he tried to get me to do ukulele lessons, and I'm sitting there with my dad. It was terrible. I felt like such a nerd.
This is the gentleman that got me the guitar. We were just talking about him.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. That's an amazing, amazing gift.
Yeah, man. I am so excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Heck yeah, you're going to rock it out. Before you know it, you're going to be pushing songs out left and right. That's going to be awesome.
We better get somebody to sing then, because I don't sing.
You got plenty of options. You got so many incredibly talented artists on Gunroom Radio. I couldn't even begin to tell you. There's so many people out there that are just so incredibly talented. It's very cool. Very cool.
My goal is I told him, I said, I want to be able to play Not Alone with Shannon Book's song Not Alone.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. It is. That would be really cool.
I told Guy that today from Operation Encore, and he goes, all he said was, these are the chords you need. If you can learn these chords, he said, you'll be able to play like 90% of all the country and rock songs. Yeah. And I said, well, that's good, because I want to be able to play Not Alone from Shannon Book. And he said, you got a long ways to go to learn his vocals. I said, oh, no, I'm not singing. I ain't singing.
You never know. Maybe you got a voice down in there you don't even know you have. You just never know.
Yeah. What's going on, Elliot, man?
Hey, Elliot.
You're just talking about talented artists, man. Elliot McKenzie, man, is amazing. That song you did with the Marine rapper Gunshots, I love that song, man. That was so well put together. My hat's off, brother. Amazing.
I tell you what, there's so many amazing people on here that's just blown me away. And the crazy thing is like before Gunroom Radio, half these people I've never even heard of, and now they have a platform and they have a place to speak their mind and let people hear their story and hear their songs. And that's a beautiful thing, because so many of these people deserve a chance. They deserve to be, heard and be able to have that platform for people to hear them. And that's what I love about this, is that so many people are being given huge opportunities out of this. And there's so many connections that are involved in it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
That's amazing. And I don't know. So, Elliot, I know he got invited to apply. I don't know if he got accepted or not to go to Camp Southern Ground there with Zach Brown's camp down there. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there was several that got invited to apply. I don't know the list of who all got accepted yet, but
that's amazing.
It is.
Heck yeah.
I think that's kind of like where the show goes. We're going to talk about positivity today, and I think that's something that a lot of these artists, is their big motivator. They stay positive, and they do this for the love of what they're doing. And even though this is an industry where you get told no a hell of a lot more than you get told yes. If it wasn't for that positive attitude, a lot of them would give up, before they ever blossomed and became what they wanted to become,
I agree. So, and using that as your drive as well, when you're told no, or you're told, that maybe you're just not good enough, or maybe you're just not what we're looking for. You take that and you keep pushing forward and you keep driving. And pretty soon you have the family around you that belongs with you to help put you in the right direction and keep you in that positive mindset.
Yeah. Like I said, even though I've been kind of down this week and just really feeling overwhelmed, and the one thing that I do keep reminding myself, is if you do stay positive, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it God or just your willing positive stuff coming to you. And I'm a firm believer it's what you're putting in that universe, you're getting back.
Absolutely.
And if you put negativity in, you're going to ruffle feathers and you're going to get negativity back, as we all have learned. So I think it's amazing when you have that shitty ass day or that shitty ass week and you still try to stay positive. And that spree of how long it lasts tends to be a lot shorter. Good things come and you get more good stuff coming longer than you get negative. Because I can tell you, I remember before I got help, I was not in a good place. I was not a very positive person. And I literally would wake up and start my day wondering what the hell is going to go wrong today, and sure enough, I find it, and I'm a firm believer that half the stuff that's gone wrong in my life is because I willed it. I wanted it to come, So I think it's important to change that look and say, look, when bad things happen, I get it, but without the bad, I can't have the good.
Yes. Very true.
And it beats you down when you don't do that, because I was getting to the point when good things would happen to me, I couldn't even enjoy it no more. The first thing that go to my mind was, oh, great, man, if this just happened for me, I can't wait to see what the bad shit is, because it's going to be way bigger than this, and it's just hard to keep that positive attitude and remember that, just because you got that one bad thing doesn't mean you can't will 10 good things coming.
It's so true. Every day I get up in the morning and the first thing I do is I thank God for another day. And I say, thank you for putting the breath in my lungs. Thank you for letting me be alive another day. And I always just really say, honestly, use me as your vessel today. Use me to help somebody else today. My drive for getting up every single day is so I can make a difference in someone else's life. And it's taken time to get to that point where I know what my drive is every single day. I've had times where let's say when I was in the middle of really going through a lot of pain and a lot of heartbreak and things like that, I was going through a lot of stuff. Getting out of bed for me was tough. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to take a shower. I didn't want to put on my makeup. I didn't want to look nice. I didn't care anymore because, you know, in those moments I was worthless to somebody and I didn't have anything that in my eyes at the time, I didn't have anything to be positive about, you know, and I was able to get out of that slump and I was able to really, you know, change those things, but I didn't do it on my own. You know, God puts people in our lives at the right time for the right reasons. And, you know, I ended up befriending a group of women at that time that really helped me through some very tough times, helped me to see, you know, who I am and what my worth was. But I had to go through that struggle and I had to go through that pain myself first. And I had to face it and I had to accept it. And I had to look it in the eye and say, you know what, I'm better than this. I'm worth more than this. I deserve better than this, you know. And then I started getting into a routine where I watched this video a long time ago. And I think it was don't quote me if I'm wrong, but it was a corporal that was talking about how he gets up every day and he teaches, you know, all his soldiers to get up every day and make their bed. Because if you've done nothing else for the rest of the day, you've accomplished one thing, which is you made your bed. So you're not a complete failure for the day. Like you've done something, you know, but I take that a step further now. And what I really try to teach is that every day when you get up, I want you to remember that when you're getting up, you're not getting up backwards. You're not getting up turning backwards and going the way you were yesterday. You're going forward and you're pushing forward. So what are you going to do today that's different than yesterday? You're going to get up, you're going to make your bed, you're going to push yourself forward, and you're going to remember, okay, why am I here? Why do I get up every day? Why do I continue to fight every single day? And you find that drive in your heart. There's something, whether it's a person, whether it's, you know, your job, whether it's a love, whether it's, you know, a promise, whatever it might be. There's something in your heart and soul that pushes you to get up every single day and not quit one more day. You know, so I always take that and I say, find the positive in that. Find the good things, that the reason that you're getting up today. Okay, maybe you got up and your alarm didn't go off, right? And then you go downstairs and you spill your coffee all over your brand new shirt. And then you go to work and you forget your lunch. I've done all three of those things, not gonna lie. And so it's probably been on Inside Out. But, you know, like you get there and you think, well, shit, you know, I'm going to have a shitty day. I already had a shitty morning. I've already, you know, spilled my coffee. I've already been late for work. I already, you know, have all these problems. Now I don't even have my lunch. So now I'm going to be hungry all day. I'm just going to have a shitty day. So you make that, you make that your reality. If you say that's what you're going to have, that's exactly what you're going to have. But if you get up and go, yeah, okay, I spilled my coffee on me. And yeah, you know, I forgot my lunch. And yeah, I was late for work. You know, this really sucks, but it is what it is. I'm going to find something today still to be positive and something to still, you know, push forward and make something positive of that day and remove that negativity bias. That is one of the most important things. And it's right. You're right. It's in your mind. It's exactly what you manifest.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that is, it's not so much, you know, like the damn, you're calling in demons and everything else. That's not necessarily what I mean. But when you focus on that, now you pick out that negative. So you could have had several positive things that happened to you that day, but because of your reality, you've already decided it's going to be a shitty day. Those just get passed by. But when you look down and you stepped in some bubble gum, well, now that became the big deal because, well, I'm already having a shitty day, and that proves it because there's gum on the bottom of my shoe. You know, and that you just start focusing on that now, and that's what happens. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard because once you get into that mindset where, you know, everything is negative and, you know, maybe someone comes in and says something crappy to you, then it's like, okay, I've already dealt with this. I've already stuffed all this in for the day. And now I've stepped in gum. And now you're being an asshole to me. Now screw this day. I want to go home and go to bed. I don't care anymore. I'm done. I'm frustrated, and we've all gotten to that point, right? And it's like, you have that choice. You have the choice if you're going to feed into that negativity bias. And when you do, it's like a monster. It gets bigger and it starts to grow. And then all of a sudden your frustration gets bigger and your pot of boiling water is starting to boil up just a little bit more. And then, maybe you go home and someone says one thing to you and all of a sudden you just unleash on somebody that didn't even deserve it because they didn't know that you were going through such a crappy day. And maybe they asked you, can you take out the trash or, something simple, but it's that one little thing to set you off, and that's where a negativity bias becomes such a monster. You harbor the anger, frustration towards whatever it might be. Maybe it's something someone said to you or a situation that happened, or, maybe it's due to the day itself or, patients or customers that you had for the day or whatever it might be. Like little things can set you off if you let them, and so that's one thing for me. Whenever I feel a negative anything coming on, I can't handle it anymore. Like my body has been so trained to avoid any type of negativity whatsoever. And, I can't allow myself to be negative. Like there's something inside me that is just takes over. Whenever I start to feel that negativity, I'm able to switch it automatically and be like, nope, we're not going to do this. I'm going to think of something positive. I'm going to immediately change this. I will not allow myself to go here. And, again, that's that manifesting part of things where you're telling yourself, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to allow yourself to go down that rabbit hole, and it's tough. It's tough to learn. It really is, but you can learn that,
and it's crazy because I was just sitting here thinking back about my military career. Right. And the one thing that went through my mind when you said, you got to find things that's positive. What got you up out of bed that day? And the first thing that I started thinking about was when I went through Green Platoon, which is selection for the 160th. It was hell. I'm not even going to lie. I mean, you went through 4 sets of uniforms a day. So every night when you got done, you were doing laundry. You couldn't walk because of all the blisters on your feet. I mean, they just trashed you. And every day, every one of us got up and went back for more. All we had to do was sign a piece of paper saying we quit. That was it. They had a little piece of paper that was called the I quit statement. And all you put is I quit and sign your name. And boop, it's over. You're done. It stops. But that same, the positive side of that was if I make it that next day and then I make it the next day, at some point, I may make it into the unit and be a part of the unit. And it's crazy how I don't care what soldier you are. Everybody has that time in their career where, whether it was even just basic training, they were motivated to make it in the military. And every day they went through the bullshit. And that positive side in them was, I'm going to make this. I'm going to do this. But then when we get out of the Army and we start dealing with the civilian side, it's like we don't even think about that anymore. And it's gone. And it's so easy to say, I have nothing positive for tomorrow. And I don't know why. When you start thinking about all the trials and tribunes you went through that required you to stay positive and say, there is a greener side. I just got to get there, And then the moment we walk away from the military, we just leave that behind, Maybe we had to turn it back in when we left and the Army wanted it back. I don't know. but it is, and that's that positive side of, what got you up out of bed that day,
Right.
And now you look at a lot of these people that are going through depression and killing themselves and everything else. And it just makes you wonder, where did those positive days go? You know, where did those ability to look through and say, what do I need to get me to that next day? You know,
Right.
Because I am a firm believer that, you know, once you have the tool and you put it in your box, it's yours, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just as guilty, because when I first got out of the military, I was in that same situation. I didn't have anything positive to live for. I didn't want to live, to be honest, you know. And even, you know, all my life I wanted to own my own business, and I did. And I wasn't happy about that either, you know. So I don't know what happens. I don't know what that switch is, that swap, and what changes it. But man, I wish we could find that out and prevent it, because yeah.
Absolutely. You know, and I feel like, you know, that's what we do here. And so many people, you know, get together and have started not-for-profits and have started missions and movements and all these things to say, hey, we're just like you, or hey, you know, we've gone through what you've gone through, and we're here to listen, we're here to help you find the positive in the negative. And, you know, for me, I really feel that's my calling here on this earth, is to wake up the ones that lost themselves, to bring back that light and that hope and that love that maybe they never had, or they did have and they're not sure where it went, you know. And I just truly feel like that's why I fight so much and I push so much to, you know, spread those messages of love and lead in love and teach people grace and forgiveness and teach you how to find that in yourself. You know, I think it's got to be so tough when you're stripped of everything. When you're in the military, you're stripped of all of that, and you're built back once you built up, and you're trained to kill. You're trained to do what you're told to do. You're trained to not ask questions. You're trained to do things a certain way. And you're trained to keep going, like you said, every single day, even when it sucks, even when you're tired, even when, you know, you're at your breaking point. You're going to keep doing it because you're going to make sure that you get the task done, you know. And again, that's part of that mindset that, you know what, this sucks, but I'm going to do it because, you know, I'm going to show you that I can do it. I've committed to do it. You know, I've sacrificed my life and said, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. Right. So when you get out and you come back, you know, to the civilian world and you're sitting there, where's the push to do it? You don't have someone going, keep going, keep going, keep going, you know, because all of you are out at the same time and you're all at that point where you don't have the encouragement from your brother or your sister anymore. Yeah. You don't have the encouragement from, you know, your whoever's in charge. You even if it's not necessarily super positive encouragement, you don't have any. And so you have everybody that's gotten out that's battling the same battle separately, silently, quietly by themselves because they don't know how to say, hey, I don't have this encouragement anymore, bro, you know, or whatever, or sister. Do you have this encouragement? No, you're not going to do that because you've been taught to be strong. You've been taught not to complain. You've been taught to get your tasks done, handle the situation, and move on, right? Yeah. And so how do you start to open up and talk to someone about, hey, you know, I'm feeling really lost here. I'm feeling very alone. I'm feeling like I don't really have a purpose anymore. Why am I here? You know? Yeah. And that's the thing that the people don't open up about. They don't talk about that part. And so, you know, the more and more of us that come together to say, to say, it's okay to talk. It's okay to tell me you're not okay. And it's okay to ask for help or for someone to talk to or for someone to relate or understand. And that's one reason I love social media as much as I do. Yes, it's got some negativity parts to it, but it is so important. And social media is such a beautiful thing. Back in 2015 is when I started my TikTok. And I did PTSD awareness back in 2015. I started with a group of people. This is when I was still a military wife. And, you know, that was my thing, was to spread PTSD awareness, you know, and then as time grew on, I got off for a couple of years and I got back on, and it was still my drive to spread awareness, PTSD, mental health awareness. And I would go through videos and I would see people just suffering and hurting and struggling, saying, you know, why should I change if nobody thinks I'm good enough? Everyone thinks I'm going to fail. Or, you know, this person's sitting here and they're doing like the video of they're smiling, but then they're doing the zombie song or in your head, right?
Yeah.
So you're seeing the two different sides of people, and people are sitting there crying out for help. They're saying, hey, this is my outlet to let go and show somebody else that I'm not okay, with the hopes that somebody else somewhere may reach out to me and be like, man, I get you. You know, I relate to what you're going through. And that's one thing I love about social media and why I do my videos every single day, to help people to see maybe one person might scroll by and see a video that gives them a little bit of hope, gives them a little bit of light and love in their life, to say, man, maybe there is still something I can live for every day. Maybe I can find a purpose to get up every morning.
Yeah. You know, in the military, we had a saying, you know, and it was kind of something we usually said when we were just in the shit that just sucks, you know, whether it be training and it's raining or snowing and you're cold and miserable, you know, we would just look at each other and say, man, you just got to embrace the suck, you know. And that's all you can do is say, hey, you know, just embrace it, embrace the moment. We're all here together. We're all taking a bite out of this shit sandwich, and you know, it won't be long and it'll be gone. And I think that's something that we just got to remember. You know, when things get shitty, you know, you got to take your bite and chew it up and move on. You know.
Yeah. And Joel said something here too. He said it's important to remind people that we're just like you, no different. Yeah. And that is such a true statement, because everybody feels like, you know, in front of others, you can smile, you can be a happy person, you can be funny, you can be a jokester, whatever it is, right? But behind closed doors, you're suffering silently. And you've a lot of people feel nobody understands what I'm going through. No one understands the monsters and the demons that I deal with. No one understands that, you know, I'm going through hell at home with my family or with myself or with my kids or whatever. But the thing is like, so many people are literally going through the same exact thing that you are. And they don't talk about it because they're afraid to come out and not be okay and show weakness or show vulnerability or show, you know, they don't want to be judged, right? Right. So everyone's staying in their house, hiding behind their mask, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of coming out and saying, hey, I'm not okay. But if everybody was able to come out and just be like, listen, I'm just like you and I'm just like you. I'm not okay. You're not okay. You're not okay. Let's band together and let's learn how to be okay, because we're all feeling the same thing. Like that's another reason I love social media and that connection, is because people comment on videos or people duet videos or whatever it might be. And then you've made a connection. Mm-hmm. Somebody is always your somebody, whether it's across the state or across the street, it does not matter. There's somebody out there that relates to your story and they relate to your pain and they relate to what you're going through more than you know. And so people have been able to connect on that level. And I truly feel like there has been many, many, many lives saved because of these connections, because of social media connections. You know, somebody from Florida and somebody from Washington may find each other in a video and may save each other, you know? And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, You know, you need people that are going through that suck with you in order to help get you out. You know, the wrong people come in that area, and man, it could be like sand. They realize they're getting in too deep, and they run and leave you hanging, or they end up in the same position as you, as well. You know, and it's important. And again, I think that's another reason why veterans talk to veterans, and it's because we all have embraced that suck, whether it was the same place or same, you know, one may be training, one may be combat. That part doesn't matter. We all, when we say that, we know what that means, you know, and it allows you to be able to talk and get through the negative to find that positive, you know, in a more expedited method, you know. Because until somebody shows you where the positive it is, man, you just continue to look for the negative around you. And look, at the end of the day, social media is the exact, representation of life, right? When you say, I seen a video that you said this in, and it said, you know, what you put into the universe is what you get out. Well, what you search on Facebook is what you get back.
True.
You know, no different than any other social media.
True.
They're going to give you what you want to see.
Yeah.
So, the simplest thing that you can do to actually start showing positive stuff and finding that positive is start searching for it on social media. Because you'll be surprised of what it gives you back.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take some time, but it will happen.
Right.
And just like what you were saying about, you know, somebody says something negative to you and you instantly look for the positive and turn it around. Well, that doesn't happen overnight. That takes years of experience of remembering and catching yourself saying, I'm going to beat your, no, I'm not. I'm going to give you a hug. You know? And
exactly. Yes.
And it might be around your neck, but I'm going to give you a hug.
Hey, you know, all in love, right?
Right.
You know, and that's very true though, because like it has taken me a long time to find grace. I mean, a long time. I'm in my 40s, and it has taken me 40 years to be able to find grace. I have always been a loving person. I've always seen the good in someone. My dad taught me that when I was a little girl. Being a psychologist, I always saw both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But like, I've always forgiven people. I've always seen the good in someone. That's why, you know, my relationships in life have not worked out, because I find the good in somebody and I look past the other thing and I think, okay, you can actually be a good person. There is good in you, and I'm going to help bring the good out of you. You know, that's that healer side of me. But, you know, it's very true that it's taken me a long time to be able to not have any negativity in my heart at all. Like, I truly feel like God put me in situations that I was put in to learn and grow and strengthen and go through pain and be on my knees and lose everything and have to be built back up and learn to love myself on the inside and the outside. And that has changed my life. It really has. Like, to be able to love yourself wholeheartedly and everything about you, and honestly live in Christ consciousness, honestly, is really what it is. It's like, I live in love. I lead in love in everything I do. Any negative thought, any negative, you know, person in my life, I won't have it. I won't be around it. I can't. Like, physically, my body is just like I just can't do it. You know,
I can tell that today.
Yeah, I can't handle it. It's the weirdest thing. And so, like, that's why, you know, I've been put here is to be that person, that mediator, that one to say, hey, you know, let's look at things in a different light. Let's find another way about this. And if you can't be this way towards me, or, towards my family or whatever, then I'm going to have to walk away from this. And that's with people too in your lives. If you have somebody in your life, and we've touched on this a couple times before, but it's so important. If you have negativity in your life, if you have somebody that is not supporting you, and mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, then that person is going to drag you down. And when you're trying to heal or you're trying to change, and this is one thing that oh goodness, broke my heart. I've seen a video of this person on TikTok the last couple of days, and this man is struggling. He's an alcoholic, and he's struggling, and he's trying to change. He's trying to go to rehab. He's trying to do things to better his life. And the comments blow my mind away. Like, people are on there saying, you'll never change. You're just a loser. Go get drunk. Go take another drink. All these things. And it's like, if somebody wants to change, granted, yes, we've all made mistakes. We've all made poor decisions. We've all, gone through painful things, whether it's PTSD from, coming back from being deployed, or whether it's, something else with work or family or whatever trauma you've dealt with. Maybe you're holding guilt. Who knows what it is? Everyone is entitled to heal. Everyone is entitled to change their ways.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, I wasn't there for my kids for years and years because I got out of the military and I became an alcoholic, or I got out of the military and I got on pills, or I got addicted to, different things to numb my pain, right? So I haven't been there for my kids for the last 10 years, but now you're here saying, you know what? I've woke up and I'm ready to change my life. I'm ready to heal. I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to be a dad or a mom to my kids again. I'm ready to try to be a better person,
Mm-hmm.
And when you have people in your corner that are sitting there saying, you'll never amount to nothing, you're just an angry drunk, or, whatever it might be, why would somebody want to change if they have someone in their life that's sitting there telling them what a piece of crap they are?
Yeah.
You got to surround yourself by the people that believe in you and, want to encourage you. And sometimes that's not your own blood. Sometimes it's not your own family. It's not your own spouse. It's not your own relationships. Sometimes it's in people like us that are here saying we love you and we care and we want to listen to you and we want to encourage you and we want to be there to help you through these moments that you're trying to change and heal. And we want to let you know that we're going to be with you and be your shoulder and be your rock on those steps that you're taking.
Yeah.
So that having that energy, that whether it's negative or positive energy around you, it is so important to have a positive atmosphere around you.
I know this ain't exactly on the topic, but that guy that you were talking about that was on social media talking about, he's a drunk and he wants to change and everything else, and the people were commenting all these things to him,
Mm-hmm.
that becomes a choice, because how much more work would it take to say,
Yeah.
we got you, we support you, good luck.
Yep.
Versus a long ass post telling you what kind of piece of shit you are.
Yeah.
What did he do to you? I mean, once you scroll, you have instantly forgot him anyways. So why leave your negativeness with him when you scroll? Because he didn't forget it.
Yeah.
After you scrolled, it stayed with him. You dropped it off. You said, here's a gift that keeps on giving, asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
And people don't understand that. And they can laugh, they can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, it most of the time it takes a lot less to say something positive than it does something negative. Because
it truly does.
My positive comments are usually one sentence that piss me off, and you better break out the glasses because you're going to be reading for a while.
And that's so true. That's so true. It's so easy for someone to just be like, da 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 da. You know, they don't know what, especially when they're not a part of that person's life.
Right.
You know, they're just a bypasser coming through. And that one word that they type might be the reason that person decides not to live another day.
Could
you know,
be.
and
That
that's
has
what
happened.
exactly. And that's what makes me so angry about this. Like, I've reached out to this man several times. He's trying to change. He really, really is. He's struggling mentally and emotionally, and he's really struggling. And he's at the point where he's not accepting help from anybody right now. And it's very unfortunate. And I pray that that changes. But just the comments of the people passing by that don't even know this person have no right to write those hateful, hurtful things. And
Yep.
that those come out in words too, you know, with people around you. And you never know what your words are doing to somebody. Whether
it makes you wonder how their life is going. You know, the people that are saying
Yeah.
that stuff, realistically,
Yeah.
how good is their life?
Mhm.
You know, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm not saying that my life is amazing, but I can tell you it's a hell of a lot better now than it was when I was down about everything.
Mhm.
You know, and even still back then, I never had no desire, you know, to go on social media and just start talking shit about people that I didn't even know, that I had no reason to be even talking to, you know?
Mhm.
But I probably didn't pass on a lot of positivity, you know, with other truck drivers and everything else either, you know? So my life is a lot better today than it was back then, you know?
You know, and but when you've worked to get there, because one, you wanted it, you know, so you manifested it into your own reality. You spoke it into the universe and you said, I'm done with this shit and
Yeah.
I'm gonna push forward. I'm gonna change my ways. I'm gonna start to heal, you know, and that's absolutely so true. And that's where people have a really tough part of being able to accept that mindset change. Like, how do you get to that mindset change? You know, where you're waking up every day and you're like, why am I awake another day? You're just doing the same routine, the same misery, the same walking around dead while you're still alive, the same thing every day. Like, where do you get to the point where the spark goes off to say, okay, you know what? This is going to go one of two ways. I'm going to continue to be miserable in my life, and I'm going to continue to live in my own prison cell, and I'm going to continue to be unhappy and live in a negativity bias. Or I'm going to let this spark over here and go, you know what? I'm better than this. I can do this. And that's where motivation comes in. That's where people like you come in, people like me come in, people that are scrolling by and see us, you know,
Yeah.
or see a video or whatever it might be and go, oh, if they can do it, maybe I can do it. Maybe there is still something to live for, you know, maybe there is still positivity in this world. Maybe I do have a purpose and a reason that I'm here.
Chocolate chip
know?
cookies and milk.
Yeah. Hey,
my
you
positive.
can't go wrong there.
That is my go-to when I'm pissed. That'll make you feel better in a heartbeat.
I do love me some chocolate. I will say, dark chocolate, it has to be. Milk chocolate, I don't know. My stomach can't handle it anymore. So I love dark chocolate. And I got me some dark chocolate coffee beans right now that today, when I got off work, I went and bought me a bag of dark chocolate coffee beans because I was like, you know what? I deserve a little treat today. Yep. I deserve it. I've had a day, you know, and at the end of the day, my day was not super positive. And I was kind of like, you know what? Tonight, I'm just gonna have a glass of wine. I'm gonna go to bed, you know. And it was, you know, we're both kind of feeling like, oh, okay, now we got to do this podcast, and oh, we got to do this, and now we've got to, you know, be positive and all this stuff. And And that's one thing that I love about us is that, you know, we can be real with people and not be like sugarcoating bullshit like, hey, we're great. Everything's fantastic in our world. Because, I mean, that's just a straight up not truth, you know?
No.
And that we're just like you guys. You know, we have our moments where things are heavy and frustrating. And, you know, I got some really crappy news today about my biological mother, and it was just something that kind of floored me, that I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, you know. And so on top of that, like the rest of the day at work was just kind of dragging and not great. And you know, you get to that point where it's like you have to make a choice. Are we going to continue to be crappy and angry, or are you going to go get some chocolate covered coffee beans, you know, or some milk and cookies and turn that around? So I chose to turn it around and go get me some chocolate covered coffee beans.
There you go. Yep. I agree. You know, that's how I was yesterday. It was just such a long ass day. It was Monday, man. And like I said,
Mondays are always long.
Yep. Everything just went to crap, man. And on top of it, after work, I had to go grocery shopping, and I'm like, oh my God, Walmart. Way to end your damn day is going through Walmart.
Oh, there's some characters at Walmart.
I hate Walmart, man. And so we
go
through.
Be a fly on the wall there. For their late night people of Walmarts. I've always wanted to see some. You know, I've never seen any.
You know, there's only one positive thing about our Walmart here in Rolla is as soon as you walk through the door and you get past the greeter and all that, you're dead even now with the row of cash registers. And right there to the right is the liquor aisle.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go all the way in to get some bourbon or beer or whatever my choice is.
It's the little things.
I can get it and grab it and go and be like, got your ass. You didn't even see me.
There you go. See, the glass is always half full, even when it's empty.
Yep. But unfortunately, I had to go much deeper into Walmart yesterday. So
I know I'm not a fan of Walmart myself. I try to stay out of there as much as possible. But
man, they live in my wallet.
You what?
I said they live in my wallet. Every time I turn around, Walmart's like, "Hey, guy, I see you got a little half of a dollar there. I'm gonna just go and take that too." You can't even use it. It's ripped. I don't care. It's mine. Way to go, Sam.
The only thing I like about Walmart is their groceries are cheaper than, you know, regular grocery store. Maybe these days. I don't even know. But I feel like groceries are so expensive these days. It's kind of like, who knows where you go. But
I'm going to tell you, I don't even, you know, I if I have to grab one or two things, I pay a little bit more and go to Kroger's.
Yeah.
You know,
I have angles here.
I buy as much of my meat from the local meat processor.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Anything else. Yeah. I buy, you know, about every 3-4 months, I'll have a hog butchered. And if I can afford it, I'd get beef through them too. But it's big money to buy a cow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. I used to sell ground beef at my coffee shop when COVID was going on. I was like the little meat traveler. I put meat in the back of my trunk of my car, and I drive it around to different houses and drop off ground beef and steaks and stuff like that, because we were a small town and the meat in the grocery stores was insanely stupid expensive. So I would sell it for a reasonable price, and I got it from a local farmer. And for the first 8 weeks of COVID, I was driving around my little meat wagon. Got to make the best of it, right? You got to look at the positive side. My coffee shop was closed, but I was slinging meat.
You know how many guys wish they could say that?
I was slinging it left and right.
This show always takes a turn. I'm telling you. I thought we were going to make it through this episode without us going, but nope, we're slinging meat now.
the fun sides of me back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you got to do. You know, you can either
Yeah.
pivot or you can just sit there and look at the wall and be like, why is the door not opening?
Yeah, pretty much. I know when I was closed, they made me close for a whole 6 weeks, and that was really tough, during that time. That's actually when I started doing my singing on Facebook, and I started doing my motivational weekly motivational speeches on Facebook, and that's kind of where my motivation started, with Facebook. And then I do a weekly song, and I do a motivation, and when we were stuck in our house for that whole period of time, that was kind of my thing, and I enjoyed that a lot. It was fun. Found something positive, and it brought my voice out there, so that was pretty cool. That was while you're sitting at home sanitizing my bananas.
Holy left turn.
I sanitized my bananas, you guys, for like 3 months when COVID first came out, because I was terrified that COVID was, because we were told that it was airborne and it could have been all over your food. So I sanitized all my groceries, left them outside for 4 hours at a time. And then I'd bring them in, and I'd have gloves on. I'd have Lysol wipes, and I'd sanitize everything. I felt so stupid afterwards.
You were not the only person that did it. I've seen lots of people. My daughter worked for a law firm, and whenever she would send her out to go get supplies or whatever, they would make her stand outside and sanitize everything before they brought it into the law firm.
So stupid. We were dumb enough to believe it. Some of us were, like me. Well, because it was an unforeseen thing, right? We've never heard about it, never seen it before in our life. So this is kind of like a big old, worldwide pandemic change for the world. So we didn't really know what we were up against. And I had seen the movie Pandemic, so I was like,
I have too.
Holy shit. Much fun positive in it.
But the positive side of that is we learned that the tinfoil hat guys, they're not as crazy as we thought they were.
Holy shit, they're not. Yeah, next thing you know, there's good night. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, our world is going down somewhere. All I can say is that God's in this story. And that you just keep to the light, keep positive, live in the 7 things. That's what I say every single day. And that's really something that's continued to teach me how to be who I am today and be encouraging and positive like I am today, is live in unconditional love and lead in love no matter what. Live in grace. That means if someone pisses you off or frustrates you, don't go and beat them up. Don't go and get revenge on them. Don't go and talk about them and get mad. Just let it go. Or if somebody hurts you or offends you, whatever, let it go. It ain't worth holding on to, because it's just going to knot up in your heart, like we've talked about before. And forgiveness for yourself and for others, because that is such an important thing to have. When you're able to let go, you're not doing it for someone else. You're doing it for you. You're doing it to get out of your own heart and your own prison cell. And, compassion for everybody, kindness for everybody, faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith that you can become a better version of yourself each and every day. Have faith that you're not alone here, and that you're loved, and that you matter, and you have a purpose. And honestly, trust that there is a better tomorrow. Trust that God has always got your back, whether you believe it or not. And I'm, like I said, I'm not a holy roller. I'm not, all that, but I do have a relationship with God. And I will tell you that having light in your life is way better than having dark in your life. And, that's what we are. We're light. We're positivity. We're motivation. We're hope. We're here to help you find your purpose and find a reason to keep going one more day.
And we're slinging meat.
And we're slinging meat. We're slinging it left and right. He's slinging it. I'm not anymore. I'm probably getting in trouble for saying that. I have one little motivational story, if you would, before we end today. It's called The Group of Frogs. I love frogs. When I was a little girl, I used to catch them in the pond, actually, and I'd wear them on my head, on my bathing suit, on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
So wonder I didn't
legs.
get warts. You what? Frog
I
legs?
like frog legs. Yeah.
I've never had a frog leg.
Oh man, that's great.
No, I've had alligator, but I've never had frog.
I've had gator too. Yeah.
I've heard frog tastes a little bit like chicken, or maybe that's alligator. I know alligator tastes a little bit.
They say that about everything.
It all tastes like chicken. Don't worry. Okay, this is called A Group of Frogs. As a group of frogs was traveling through the woods, two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frogs crowded around the pit and saw how deep it was, they told the two frogs that there was no hope left for them. However, the two frogs decided to ignore what the others were saying, and they proceeded to try and jump out of the pit. Despite their efforts, the group of frogs at the top of the pit were still saying that they should just give up, that they will never make it out. Eventually, one of the frogs took heed to what the others were saying, and he gave up, falling down to his death. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just die. He jumped even harder and finally made it out. When he got out, the other frog said, "Did you not hear us?" The frog explained to them that he was deaf. He thought they were encouraging him the entire time. Moral of the story: people's words can have a big effect on others' lives. Think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth. It might just be the difference between life and death.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I don't know what you think, but since Joel created that amazing intro for us, we should take our old intro and use that for our exit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be really cool.
Well, we will see y'all later. I hope to have y'all come back and visit with us again on Tuesday.
Yes.
And, don't forget this little number up here, 720-619-0627. Y'all are more than welcome to text, call-ins, whatever it is you want to do, and you'll be on the show, and we will tell you our thoughts. We're like the millennial version of Dear Abby.
I love it. So they can actually call in and speak to us live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
we can't wait for some phone calls, y'all. We'd love to talk to you and encourage you and give you something to keep going one more day. Maybe make you laugh a little.
Absolutely. Do I still have that? I don't see our intro. That looks like Joel removed our intro. I'm going to have to reload it and make it our...
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
All right.
Are we ending? Or are you guys saying some?
Yeah,